Update 21.2 is now on its way, bringing with it a snowstorm, vehicle and armor repair kits, new secret rooms, and much more. Today, we're going to look at gameplay of all of these new features on the PUBG PC test server and run through everything in this update's patch notes. This update is available to play now on the PUBG PC test servers, and it's going to go live next Wednesday for PC on the 18th of January and the following Thursday on the 26th of January for PUBG on console. We're going to see some map rotation changes and map selection regions, which I think is just the Asia regions that still have map selection. They're going to keep featured map Vikendi, and their normal match is going to have Destin come into it. But for most people watching this video, you're going to be in a random map region. I think that's going to be NA and EU basically. And we're going to lose featured map. We're going to have normal match rotation with Erangel, Miramar, Taego, Sanhok, and Vikendi. But Vikendi is going to have a 40% weighting. So this means there'll be one queue. Matchmaking should be a lot quicker again, but there's a higher chance of getting Vikendi. Personally, I really like how they've done this. Other than keeping Taego in there, I'd have liked to see Taego go and bring Destin in. Sanhok is still in there. I like Sanhok. I know a lot of people don't, but they've made some nice changes to it, so I'm happy to see it there and try out some of the changes they've made on Sanhok. Ranked is staying the same as it always does, and console and random map region are both the same. So Vikendi is getting its first wave of new features since its release. The big one that everyone's been waiting for was the Blizzard Zone, the big snowstorm. It was teased in lots of trailers, but didn't come with the initial release. Now we have it, and you can see it up on the screen as we speak. It kind of replaces the red zone or the black zone. It's a random event that pops up. You can have a couple of them at a time. If you go into it, it does a little bit of damage to you. It slows you down. It makes driving harder. You can hardly see anything. It's hard to hear. And they'll kind of move across the map slowly and just last for a little while. You get a bit of a warning before they pop up. You'll see it on the map, and then it will pop up and it will last for a little bit and then dissipate again. They're pretty cool looking. I like it. It's a bit different to a red zone and stuff. I'm glad there's no red zone on this map. It doesn't kill you really quickly like a red zone would. You can kind of stay in it and tank it. You'll just take a bit of damage. It's not too ridiculous like being in a blue zone grenade or something like that. It's also available in normal and custom matches, so you can turn it off and on in custom games if you're playing those on Vikendi. Also on Vikendi, we're going to see these secret rooms now usable. These are these buildings here you can see, and you've been able to go into these before and they had a little key card thing, but you couldn't do anything with it because there weren't any key cards. Those are now available to be found on the map. If you go into one of these bunkers, you can open the door with a key card. It's a one use, and in these back rooms you're going to find a bunch of decent gear. I found AEDs in both and vehicle repair kits, which we'll come to in a minute, as well as a mixture of items, a bit like the Taego secret rooms where you sometimes can get level 3 armor and weapons, or it might just be a bunch of random stuff, but pretty good stuff and definitely worth going into if you've got one of these keys. Repair kits have also now been added to Vikendi only at this stage. There's an armor, vehicle, and helmet repair kit that you can find around the map. If your helmet or armor is damaged, you can use this and it will repair it to full health. If they're completely broken, however, you can't then repair them. The vehicle one, you sit inside your vehicle and you use that and it heals 500 HP on your vehicle, so not up to full health if it's badly damaged, but it gives you a chunk of health back and does take about 10 seconds to do in a vehicle. It won't repair vehicle tires. You can't repair fully drowned vehicles. You can't use it whilst driving, and you can't also do it whilst holding your breath for whatever reason. I guess if you're partially underwater. These are meant to be pretty rare items to find around the map, but you can find them in the secret rooms, as mentioned just a minute ago. Multi-drop airdrops have now been added to Vikendi, quite similar to how they work on Taego. You'll get one main crate and then a few other smaller ones. The smaller ones do have this kind of grey crate skin on them. I think they work pretty much the same as the Taego ones. They just look a little different. I'm not sure they are more like the ones that set off alarms on the ice road on Vikendi, but I'm not quite certain. But it feels like they're similar. I found an MG3 in one of them and an AWM in the main crate, and then little dribs and drabs in the other small crates. And that seems to line up with kind of what you see on Taego. They've also added some new signs and got rid of a few things. There was a cable car station near the coal mine that they've got rid of as an unused one. They said they've increased the loot in the buildings that you can open with Crow crowbars, which is good because I thought they were a bit useless before, so interested to check that out, and a few other little quality of life changes made. They've also made quite a few changes to Sanhok, which is really nice. One of them, they've added ascenders to a bunch of areas on Sanhok, which is great, and actually something I kind of mentioned in my 10 things I'd like to see this year in PUBG video that I did just a few days ago. What I wanted to see was ascenders and reusable parachutes and some of those things added to all of the maps in PUBG. So this is kind of a start. They've added ascenders. They haven't added reusable parachutes for whatever reason to Sanhok, but this is nice to see. There's ascenders now at the cave, or there's one at the cave, and they've actually redesigned the whole cave. It's a little bit like the new Sanhok cave if you played that, and then now we're kind of on old new Sanhok, or we need better names for these maps, but they've changed cave to be much more interesting inside, and there's also some structures around the top of it. There's also ascenders that have been added to the mountainous area. The big mountain on the northwest of the map has a bunch of them, which are really, really useful, and is going to make that area a lot better to play. And they've also added 2 bridges. One has been added just to the northwest of Boot Camp, which is similar to the previous iteration of Sanhok, and another has been added replacing the sort of ford you could try and use near ruins if you're going northeast from ruins. There's that ford that's now been replaced by a small bridge. They've also added some better playable areas around some of the islands in the main body of the river in the middle of the map, and some of the beaches. Some of the cliff edges now have sand around the base of them, so you can kind of get on the edge and you can shoot or med rather than these big just pillars of rock that you just can't really get on. So some nice little tweaks there. I'm interested to play Sanhok with the ascenders. I think it's going to make the mountain a lot more fun to play, a lot more interesting, and all the other changes I think they're quite subtle but quite positive. We've also got a few other small things changed. The ping marker, this was a change they made where it would automatically disappear off the screen after 30 seconds. They've now changed that, so it's 120 seconds, 2 minutes, which is much better. I found it kind of annoying they disappeared so quickly before, so that's a very positive change they've done there. They've added in a thing in training mode where if you 1v1 people, it will show your win streak. If anyone uses that, I don't really play it, but I guess some people do. It will show your win streak if you get a bunch of wins in a row. GG's to you. On top of that, we also have the new crafter pass and workshop stuff coming in. There isn't much detail on that in the patch notes. I'm sure they'll do a follow-up article explaining it all. It's a lot like the McLaren thing, i.e. it's very, very confusing, but you can get some cool stuff. Basically, there's 2 progressive skins. There's a barrel and an SKS at the moment. I think there's a pan you can get as well, and like a parachute and some stuff. But basically, you can get the survivor pass. You can kind of get these points and crates, and then you can use that in special crafting to unlock these progressive skins. It's not really clear yet whether they get leveled up using normal schematics or something special. You can't get onto the full hideout page on the test server. You can only get into the workshop and the survivor pass. But if you buy the survivor pass, it's a bit like the McLaren. If you buy the survivor pass, you can get about 1,500 of these tokens from the pass, which is going to cost you about 1,000 G coin for the pass. Getting the barrel contraband skin is 2,000 whatever points. Getting the SKS one is 1,500. So for 990 G coin, if you complete the pass, you're guaranteed to be able to get the SKS progressive skin. You're not going to have it leveled up to level 10. That's still going to cost you tons of money, but you can get yourself some base progressive skins relatively cheaply compared to the normal system. Maybe you can also buy these crates, these loot caches in the store, just like the McLaren one. You can buy loads of them for loads and loads of G coin if you want, and open all these crates and get various clothing items and a chance to get more points. Or if you're really lucky, I think you can just pull one of these progressive skins as well. So it seems like a slightly more generous way than normal of getting a progressive skin. Obviously, to actually get it upgraded to look cool, you're still going to need to spend a ridiculous amount of money, but on the surface it feels like a kind of an okay thing, I guess. And there's lots of nice stuff to get in the survivor pass, and they're normally worth picking up if you want to spend $10 on that. As always, it's all quite confusing, and we need a new article from PUBG to really explain it in detail. I'm a little confused as to what some of the things in the pass even mean, but I'm sure once we get our heads stuck into it on the live servers, it will make a bit more sense, maybe. So that's about everything for this update. Like I said, it's going to be out on PC next Wednesday and the following Thursday for PUBG on console, and I'll be checking it out once it goes live on console. So thanks for listening today. Let me know what you think about this update down in the comments below. I'm also going to be streaming over on Twitch today, so if you want to come and ask me any questions, then jump over to twitch.tv/thebeardguys from about UK lunchtime. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time. I just wanted to drop you all a quick message to tell you about our PUBG creator code. As a PUBG partner, we have a creator code which you can add to your account, which means whenever you purchase anything in-game, PUBG will give us a commission. Whether you're buying season passes, G-Coin bundles, or anything else that requires cash in PUBG, if you have our code added, then you'll be helping us out without costing yourself a penny extra. It's a great way to support the channel, and it really does help keep us making PUBG content for you. Plus, it's easy to set up and you'll only ever have to do it once. To add our code, first visit accounts.pubg.com and then log in or create an account. Once you've logged in, connect your Xbox, PlayStation or Steam account on the linked accounts tab, then go to the Creator Appreciation Program section and type the Beard Guys into the box or find us from the drop-down list. Then just click submit and you're all done. A massive thank you to everybody who has used our code. Your support is absolutely vital for us and it really makes a huge difference.